Welcome to the build-up from RamsTV. This is the show that gives you everything you need to know before the big game kicks off. It's nearly Christmas and we've almost reached the halfway mark of the Championship season. Derby County play their final away fixture before the midway point tonight. They're on the road to face Luton Town. It's been 18 years since Derby's last victory at Kenilworth Road, a 2-0 win courtesy of John Stead and Steve Howard. Their first visit was for an FA Cup tie back in 1946, en route to the club's first and only FA Cup triumph. And they might not get too many more trips to Luton's famous old home. Just this week, the club have finally got planning approval for a new stadium, which should be finished by 2027. Back in the present, Luton were expected to be fighting for an immediate return to the Premier League this season, but it hasn't gone that way so far. Manager Rob Edwards signed a new deal in the summer, even after Luton were relegated after a single season in the top flight. They're closer though to the bottom three than the top six at the moment, though injuries haven't helped the cause too much. Defenders Teden Mengi, Reece Burke, Daiki Hashioka and Shandon Baptiste, plus wingback Alfie Doherty, all expected to be missing tonight, while Liam Walsh is suspended following his red card in the defeat to Blackburn last weekend. Derby will be without defender Erin Cashin after he picked up a hamstring injury in last Friday's thumping win over Portsmouth. That ended a 6-game winless run for the Rams, who'll go 10th tonight if they win, ahead of the rest of the weekend's schedule. But remember, Derby have only picked up one win in their 11 matches on the road so far. You'll hear from Derby boss Paul Warne shortly. First, we've been talking to midfielder Ben Osborn and reflecting on that fine win over Portsmouth last Friday.
Yeah, it was really good. Obviously, always good under the lights. But, you know, to get a win, a much-needed win in that style was really enjoyable, yeah.
Was it the best performance of the season for you?
Potentially had a bit of everything. Bristol City was also pretty good, but I think the way we started the game and took our chances, it became fairly comfortable pretty quickly, which is quite rare in the Championship. So yeah, potentially, but I did think that the performances were getting better in the last 5 or 6 games, especially in possession. We're starting to put some more passes together and patterns of play, and I felt like something like that was coming. I did say it to a couple of lads before the game. They didn't want me to jinx it, but I did say like it's coming. I can feel like a big result coming. Thankfully, it did.
Is there a lot of superstition in that room?
I think so. Yeah. I do see the same patterns from the same people. I'm not really superstitious. I mean, I probably am actually, without even knowing it. But yeah, I think across football, there's a lot of it.
I think there's a consensus in the room, certainly, that Friday was probably your best performance in a Derby shirt so far. Just tell me about the role that you're being asked to play at the moment in the side.
Yeah, playing a bit deeper, which I'm enjoying. I feel like I can get more involved in the game, loads more touches, and also talk to people a bit easier, across the whole pitch. So yeah, starting to build a decent relationship with Nelson and Cash and Jakob, trying to bring the ball through the thirds a little bit more. And then, yeah, when you've got the likes of Kenzo or Tomo with me as well, if I end up getting marked, I don't want to give away too much of the tactics, but yeah, no, it's been good. It's been enjoyable.
Yeah, we'll move on from the specific detail. Sort of a mark of your career, I think, has been your versatility, your adaptability. Has that always been a good thing for you?
It can be good and bad, really. I mean, in the overall, I do look at it as a positive thing because I've managed to play a load of games, especially when I was younger in my career. Went a few seasons without missing a game in multiple positions, but yeah, it has its pros and cons because sometimes you might not nail down first choice in that position because they can just put you somewhere else. But then again, you sort of always need it because you're handy and you save the club a bit of money because you can play in multiple positions. So yeah, it's something that I've always sort of felt comfortable doing, and that's probably credit to my coaches when I was younger.
We'll look ahead to Friday in a moment, but time of year, have to ask, what does Christmas look like in the Osborn household?
Yeah, it's carnage. Gonna have to do some last minute Christmas shopping today, I think. It's crept up on me a little bit. just with like all the fixtures and everything. But we're hosting this year, which again we're regretting because underprepared. And like we're just thinking, why have we agreed to do this? Why aren't we just going around someone's ass and relaxing? But we'll get through it.
Would you prefer to not have the football? Because winter break gets talked about every now and again, but is it just part of the routine for you now?
Yeah, so used to it now. So like my missus is slowly getting used to it now, but like before it's still trying to book load of stuff in over Christmas and we'll go see them, and I'm like, can't really. So like this is probably the busiest period of the year up there. So in an ideal world, just want to be hibernating, recovering, and then go into the next game. But no, it is good. Like obviously, like all the fixtures are pretty like exciting this year. Big games. They're always like close to sellout crowd. So it's a like amazing time of year, and it's just pure football based really. And then you just try and fit in a bit of family time and stuff around the outside.
And a big game on Friday away at Luton, where you were a winner in the Premier League last season with Sheffield United. Of course. What are you expecting from them?
I think they'll be a bit disappointed with the start that they've had. Obviously, still got quality all the way through the team. Physical game. I think they'll be, looking to come at us from the start really. So I think they'll want to play at a high intensity and try and make us defend as early as possible. So we're going to have to be right at it.
Ben Osborn on tonight's opponents, Luton. And there are plenty of links between the Rams and the Hatters, a few of which are worth keeping an eye on tonight. Let's start on the pitch where two members of the Derby squad have been Luton fan favourites in recent years. James Collins hit 25 goals for them as they were promoted from League One in 2019 and bagged 72 in 183 games in all across 4 seasons. Sonny Bradley captained Luton to that League One title. His association with the Hatters lasted 5 years and ended with promotion to the Premier League just 18 months ago. Off the pitch, the Luton manager Rob Edwards had a spell with the Rams in his playing days, scoring once in 11 appearances on loan from Aston Villa in 2004. One of his first games in management also came against Derby when he was caretaker boss of Wolves in 2016. And then there's Mick Harford, the now Luton chief recruitment officer, has a long association with the club, but also played for Derby in the early 90s. And the connections go even deeper than that. Kane Wilson and Ebou Adams both played for Rob Edwards in a title-winning side at Forest Green Rovers. We could go on and on, but we need to move on. Let's hear from Derby's head coach ahead of tonight's game. Paul Warne starting with an update on the condition of Erin Cashin.
Yeah, he's obviously tweaked his hammy, so he'll be out for a small period, but it will be constantly monitored, and he's a young man, so he'll be back soon, I hope.
Rest of the group looking okay?
Yep. I'm just going through my memory bank there. It's been a long week already. Yeah, no, they're fine. I don't think I've got any other massive dramas. So, yeah, everyone looks all right.
Your team scored 4 goals on Friday night. Excellent win over Portsmouth. Have you felt the glow from that this week here at Moor Farm?
No, not really. I don't get too excited for wins, as you well know. I mean, if something goes on the win wall, some more goal scoring pictures and that, and a clean sheet, which is great. I'm pleased with back-to-back clean sheets, which is good, and pleased to win a game, not especially at home. It's nice to win in front of your home fans. So spread some Christmas joy, so I'm pleased on that. And the working week doesn't change depending on results, as you well know, but and the lads have always been really upbeat anyway, so I haven't noticed anything. If I walked around town, around the city, I might notice more glee, but no, at Moor Farm it's been exactly the same.
On to Friday, you reached the midway point of the season in terms of away matches. The narrative earlier in the season was that you were struggling to get points, struggling to get wins. You've done both of those things now. Do you still feel that you've not got the points returned from performances away from home?
No, I don't really. I think at home we're maybe 6, 8, 9 points shy of what I believed our performances have been. Away from home, I don't think there's many games that I've come away and said unlucky. I think we possibly could have got more at Oxford. Just going through my memory bank here, we didn't do enough at Sheffield to win. We didn't do enough at Sunderland to pick up anything. We did win at Coventry, a tad fortuitous maybe on chances. So I don't think, and I think if you look at everybody else's away form, like we go into the Luton game, Luton have been really good at home. They've struggled away from home. I think it is an epidemic in this league, really, apart from probably Sheffield Wednesday, the ones who break the trend. Away games are tough. So I can actually make a nice change here and not cry about, performances and results. I think we've probably got what we've deserved away from home, and to get more, we have to be better. That is obvious.
On Luton, I mean, a lot of people expected they'd be competing to go straight back to the Premier League. Does the fact that they're not quite at that level show how tricky the Championship can be for teams?
A few things. I mean, I love Rob, by the way. I think he's a great coach, a great person. I enjoy talking to him, as I will after the game Friday. I think there's always a hangover for when teams come down. It happens at every level. To hit the ground running straight away with complete positivity isn't easy, and the league is tough. I even though we were fortunate enough to win 4-0 last week, in a couple of moments in the first half, the game could swing on. One goal goes in for them, and it's a completely different outlook. So I think really between 90% of this league, there isn't a great deal. And he will probably feel, because I've watched his games, that he's like one tackle, one post width, one away from going on a really good run. And I just think there's just a lot of very good teams in this league who not only are good in possession, but make it difficult for you when you have the ball. And I think that is the standard of the league. So, if you look at the teams right at the bottom currently, they've still performed very well in the majority of the games. They just might have lost by the goal or two. So, and I think Luton, as a home side, have been excellent. They have been historically for years now. It's a sort of a different ground. I know they're building a new one, obviously, but it's a different atmosphere and ground to most other champ grounds. Most of them, minus probably Oxford, are big and have seats spare, apart from ours possibly, and a couple of others. But whereas Luton's always close, always a tight little pitch, always a different sort of game away, I think. So I think once they possibly get their away form going, which everyone wants to do, they'll ascend through the league.
Paul Warne. Here's the table before we go. Sheffield United only need a point this weekend to make sure they are top of the Championship on Christmas Day. They would be 5 points clear already. Remember, they've had 2 deducted for previous financial issues. A win tonight would see Derby break into the top half ahead of the rest of the weekend's games. A win for Luton would take them above the Rams and 8 points clear of the bottom 3. It's Portsmouth, Plymouth and Hull in the relegation zone at the moment. 2 of the bottom 3 in action tomorrow lunchtime, both at home. Plymouth welcome Middlesbrough later in the day. Leaders Sheffield United go to Cardiff, and Oxford will have a new manager watching from the stands for their trip to Leeds. The former Derby boss, Gary Rowett, appointed earlier today. That's happening tonight at Kenilworth Road. It is Luton Town against Derby County. You can watch it on RamsTV if you're in an unsold overseas market. Get the full list of countries where you can watch and buy your Game Pass now at dcfc.co.uk. Match day live with you from 7:30. Kick off 8 o'clock. We'll see you then. Goodbye.